Regular board meeting to order, Monday, September 8th, 2025. Can I get a roll call?
Yes, you can. President Mr. Sterling.
Here.
Vice President Mr. Thompson.
Here.
Board Member Mr. McKnight.
Here.
Board Member Mrs. McKinney.
Here.
Board Member Mrs. Carlson.
Here.
Board Member Mrs. Johnson.
Here.
Secretary Mrs. Meeks.
Pam Cook, Recording Secretary.
Troy Yarbrough, Superintendent.
Shelley Wagner, Human Resources.
Michelle Loop, Curriculum and Instruction.
Jason Bloom, Communications, Community Relations.
Josh Rand, Business and Operations.
All right, I am excited this evening to recognize some of our littlest learners here. Coming from Marquette Elementary. We've got smiling faces here. We also have Nicole, our assistant principal from Marquette, who's going to introduce the students that we have leading us in the pledge.
Thank you guys for having us. We appreciate the invitation. Today we have a couple students that have been recognized individually by their teachers as being outstanding achievers. So we're very excited to have them here, and I'd like them to introduce themselves. Go ahead.
Ivy Smith, Tessa Bay, Ollie Craftley, Oakland, Juliet Randazzo.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
If I can everybody sing.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Nice job, thank you. Thank you for leading us. You guys did such a great job. See, I'm going to recognize middle schoolers a little bit, and they are so nervous because they're troops. You guys did an awesome job, so thank you. We're going to have the board members come around. We're going to get a photo. Okay, so let's all picture on Facebook. And then we have our board members are going to come and take a photo. And then I'll get out of the way if anybody else wants to take a photo. Yep, if you want to do And I will get one of them if a parent already wants to take one as well. So, good. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. I'll move. All right. Nice job. Thank you. Great job. Thank you. It's all done. Easy peasy, got it. Easy peasy. All right. Follow Mr. Cole. There they go. Parents, you are afraid to move.
Not with that attitude.
I think it's a tie.
It's on the bills.
Wait till Josh's part comes up.
Can I get a motion and a second for approval of the agenda?
Motion.
Second.
Vice President Thompson.
Yes.
Board Member McKnight.
Aye.
Board Member McKinley.
Aye.
Board Member Carson.
Yes.
Board Member Johnson.
Yes.
Secretary Ms. Meeks. President Sterling.
Yes. Dr. Yarbrough.
All right, thank you. As we do at every meeting, the mission of Harlem Consolidated School District as a vital part of the community is to help diverse learners realize their unlimited potential by providing an educational program dedicated to academic excellence and the development of strong character in a safe and respectful learning environment.
Thank you, sir. Can I get a motion to approve board meeting minutes, regular and closed, August 18th, 2025?
Motion.
Second.
Board Member McKnight.
Aye.
Board Member McKinney.
Aye.
Board Member Carlson.
Yes.
Board Member Johnson.
Aye.
Secretary Ms. Meeks. Aye.
Trying to get fancy over there.
President Sterling.
Aye.
Vice President Thompson.
Aye.
Jason Moon.
All right. Well, it is my honor this evening Where did they disappear?
Told them they were free to go.
They literally followed me in a single file line and we went back to the back of the hallway. Yep, just right here, and then if you all want to kind of spread out that way, put their face on the table back here. We talked through it, we didn't rehearse it, so. Well, it is my pleasure this evening to introduce outstanding young ladies that first got to participate in a really cool opportunity. But I think what I'm most excited about recognizing these young ladies and their coach for is that these are girls from Harlem Middle School that are participating in the Rockford Park District's Flag Football League, which I believe practice starts tomorrow night, actually. And this is kind of their second year, but really it's kind of an inaugural season for the Park District. And I think what is most exciting about this, and they may not recognize this yet, but they are really trailblazers in this movement around flag football. We've seen recently that the IHSA has adopted that as a school sport. We had the opportunity to recognize our high school team recently, but now we have this chance to introduce to you students that are participating at the middle school level, and we're really looking forward to seeing their success, but also where this program continues to go and where flag football at this level continues to expand. And I've heard most recently that we have like 26-ish girls that are interested in playing, which is phenomenal to have that kind of number for this kind of semi-inaugural first season, I suppose. So with that though, because they're really excited to introduce themselves, they were really excited to say their names. I am first going to turn it over to their coach, Mackie, talk a little bit about what's going on, what they experienced, which you all are aware of because we sent you some stuff a few weeks ago, but turn over and let them talk a little bit and we'll get to hear their names and their grades. Yeah, sure.
So, hi, I am Coach Brenna Mackey. I am a graduate of Harlem as of 2024. I played my senior year, and then I was able to play at the collegiate level. This program is so important to me because I remember being like really young and not being able to play football, and I couldn't understand why. And so now I think it's an amazing opportunity for these girls to get a chance to do something that I couldn't, and you guys are setting history, like you guys are creating history right now as we speak, and I think you guys should be very proud of yourselves for that.
Absolutely. Pretty awesome. And so, I don't know if you're willing to talk a little bit about it. You can see up there, we got one of the photos that the Park District posted up on the screen there. We want to talk a little bit about the experience and the opportunity that they had.
Yeah, so these girls, through pure talent, were able to get to play on Soldier Field during the halftime show of their preseason game of Chicago versus the Dolphins. And I know that it was definitely a little rough to start out, but they did amazing. I mean, I can't be more proud. I know that you guys got to meet a couple of the football players here and there. They kind of came by and shook your hands a little bit, and you got to experience that, which was super awesome. And I think it just really set the standard for where these girls can go in the future. And I really have high hopes that we will soon have a national flag team, at least in the state of Illinois, to where that they will be able to make that their end goal.
Awesome. No, I didn't ask you this ahead of time, so I'm okay if nobody says anything. But does anybody want to talk about like the highlight of that experience, like getting the chance to be in front of all those people on Soldier Field? Like, was that pretty cool? Yeah. Well, I should probably ask yes or no questions. So, what was the favorite part of it? Like somebody, like there's got to be something you're like, that was just awesome, or was it like the whole thing?
The whole thing.
The whole thing. Okay. So some of you may know that we also have the honorary captain for the game. She doesn't have to talk. But Miss Ava was the honorary captain for the game, so she had that opportunity to be out in center field with the coin toss. Thank you. And so what a cool opportunity to be that. And we also had a chance you played a local team, right? Like kids from Hononegah area, Rockton, so kind of cool to represent our region at that as well. And so now without further ado, because we've been waiting for this moment, what grade you're in, so we get a little bit of an introduction, we can put a face to the name for our board members. You can start.
My name is Ava Strovis and I'm in 7th grade.
My name is Liv Weber and I'm in 8th grade.
My name is Avery C. I'm in 8th grade.
My name is Brenna Peters and I'm in 7th grade.
I'm Ariana Mendez and I'm in 6th grade.
I'm Soraya Jackson, I'm in 8th grade. I'm Madison Carter and I'm in 8th grade.
My name is Riley Sinook. I'm in 8th grade.
Awesome. Well, we are super excited to see where this program goes. Obviously, like I said, you may not know it yet, but you are setting the ground for it. And we see that we've got 26 students that are wanting to play, which is really awesome. But you really are setting the stage for what is to come with this sport. And so we're super excited. We hope practice starts off well tomorrow, and that you all have a great season. We get a chance to honor and recognize you in ways coming up. So congratulations to all of you, and we're proud of you, and best of luck this season.
As someone that was at Soldier Field, you guys did a great job that day. I saw you guys out there, and I know some of the coaches they were going to tell you the plays, and then you guys realized it was so loud that you couldn't hear. So you guys adapted and overcame, and you guys did a good job out there. Really, you really did.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, best of luck and everything. Thanks for representing us.
Games are on Saturdays. Games are on Saturdays at Clarence Hicks Memorial.
Yep, so games are on Saturdays. Anybody that hasn't seen, they recently unveiled their new field, turf field, with a warm-up area that was paid for by Chicago Bears, and so great facility, complex that you'll all be able to participate in. So kudos to Rockland Park District as well as really taking the initiative to get this up and going, and so again, we look forward to seeing the success this season. So with that, we'll do a quick photo with our board, so we have the board members, so if you want to turn around and face that way. I can keep backing up. Watch this level. There you go. Perfect. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
This is going in our newsletter.
Congratulations, ladies.
Yeah. It was a great season.
Thank you, fellas.
Yeah, the turf kind of Alice, like the indoor.
Really?
I think so. She was actually Bear's tournament. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the high school plays at home.
It's all
No, I'm just short. That's just how it works.
you slouch.
You got slouch.
Yeah, you didn't win.
I married her.
No, she
No, she left. That was the bet. She said she's not going to stay here for Josh's. All right, at this time, there are no comments for the community, so I'm going to turn it over to Josh for bills.
All right, thank you very much. The total payables this period were $980,361.91. Of that, there were void checks of $40,259.35. There were 2 payrolls this period in the amount of $7,090,796.05 for total expenditures of $8,071,157.96. Split out by fund, the education fund paid $6,924,615.77. The tort fund paid $23,175. The operations and maintenance fund paid $426,890.80. The transportation fund paid $375,626.11. The IMRF Social Security Fund paid $247,509.43. And the Capital Projects Fund paid $73,340.85. Again, for total expenditures of $8,071,157.96. Are there any unanswered bill questions?
How does a company lose a $37,000 check? This one says it's a lost check.
Could just, I'll have to ask, I
It's
don't
like,
know what.
I can't imagine letting that out of my hand, you know, it's like, okay.
It happens.
Yeah. Wow.
Still waiting for it to come back.
Oh, yeah.
Motion to approve the bills.
Motion.
Second.
Board Member McKinney?
Okay.
Board Member McKinney?
She said,
Yes.
You.
she said,
Board Member Carlson?
yes.
Board Member Johnson?
Aye.
Secretary Meeks? Aye. President Sterling?
Aye.
Vice President Thompson?
Aye.
Board Member McKnight?
Yes.
All right. At this time, I'm gonna turn it over to Diane McKee.
Okay. First, I want to say thank you for all of you for attending tonight. And I want to congratulate the McChesney teachers for being selected in the Burlington's partnership with Adopt a Classroom. It was fun to experience the ribbon cutting for Burlington, but it was also really having a great time for the opportunity to share an excitement with the principal, Abby Edwards, receiving a $5,000 check from McChesney Elementary last Friday. And I also want to commend the Equity and Education Committees for their COTW presentations on the sense of belonging, and the OLA and multilingual learner programming that was also presented last week. Both were very informative to me. I learned a great deal about the OLA and the multilingual programming. I feel like sometimes when I had taught in the past, some of the kids that came from different districts or whatever, it was very difficult for me to understand where they were coming from. The opportunity that we had, the little get-together and the exercise that brought us together with the pictures and the words that we had to say with our favorite movie. It was very difficult for me to do that without thinking and overthinking it. So I really appreciated looking at that opportunity, having that opportunity to look how the kids are struggling, and the programming that we have here through our district is fabulous, and I appreciate that we have that. I also want to thank the elementary, Marquette Elementary, for saying the pledge tonight, and for the group of middle school girls for actually having the opportunity to go to Soldier Field to play. That is fantastic. When I was in high school, I always wanted to have a flag football or even a tackle football team for girls, and it just wasn't feasible, so I did a lot of the GLA experiences, and when I went to Rock Valley, I actually got to participate in the flag football for the pom-pom type of flag football, and that was kind of exciting for that time period. So I really appreciate all the girls coming around at this time period in their life and being able to participate in all these activities. It's really moving forward. It's fabulous to see that. So thank you.
Education committee.
And the next education committee is scheduled for October 8th, 2025.
Thank you so much. Diana Johnson.
Thank you. I'm just going to say ditto to what Diane said. She said it very well, so I'm not going to repeat all that. The only thing I have is I did attend the Harlemites breakfast this morning, and they had 73 members there. Some of the members were 92 years old in September, so it's always a fun breakfast to attend. We have ages all the way from the class of 1951 to 1991, 2000, so it's a nice event. And that's all I have this evening.
Thank you so much. Rebecca Carlson.
Thank you. I don't have a lot to say either because school just started, and thank you, Diane, for bringing up all those things. How old were our Marquette students, Jason? Were they all first grade?
First through third.
First through third. I'm impressed because I know when I was, 6, just saying the Pledge of Allegiance was like, big words and putting it all in the same order and saying it in front of people, and that's fantastic that they can say that and get it right. And it's great. And I looked at some of these books Mickey had given me for the new curriculum, and I thought they were really kind of neat. I thought they were fun to look at. And I was telling her these stories, they looked hard. Some of them looked second and third grade. I don't remember reading that big of stories when I was that young, but it's just great to see them doing that. And so I just want to say again, I hope school's going well for everybody. We've only been going, less than a month. So it's good to have a school district that just keeps moving along. And it says policy committee is to be determined. I expect there'll be one on October 8th for the COTW. And then I have a recommendation to approve the first reading of policy 8.8 from September 3rd and the proposed draft. So, back to you.
Thank you. Aaron McKnight.
I'm just going to resend my time. I'm just going to echo what everybody else said and just resend my time. You're welcome, Bear fans. And so I'm just going to step back because I have nothing to add.
You always have something to add.
Nope.
I'm just gonna piggyback off of everybody else and say, oh, first I forgot to say, good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming out tonight, and I'm just happy to start this school year, and I'm really excited about the girls' flag football team. I think that is amazing. If you get a chance to go over on Overby Road to see that new football field and everything is beautiful. I mean, definitely catches your eyes, that red field, and I think it's gonna be amazing. And you're gonna, the girls are really, when you have something that looks nice, it really builds up people's self-esteem. And I think our girls are really gonna be really good this year. So I'm wishing them all good luck and looking forward to going to some championships. So wishing everybody a great rest of the week, and all of our administrators, teachers, staff, you are greatly appreciated, and we're looking for 2025, 2026 to be an excellent year. Thank you. Equity meeting. Oh, let's forget that. The equity meeting will be October 8th at 4:30 here. If you want to attend, come on out and just see the different things that we're all doing for our schools, our districts. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you. Kirk Thompson.
Sure. I'd like to thank the board members for covering some of the fantastic stuff that's going on here, as well as Jason for bringing in all our great students and calling out their achievements. Other than that, we'll keep this one short and sweet. The next Business Services Committee meeting is going to be October 8th, right back here at the Committee of the Whole meeting. Mike?
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Hello, everyone. That was cool to see the girls' flag there. Jason, thank you for putting that picture up. I was able to see my daughter in the field right there. It's a small shoulder and hair, but she was there. I'd really like to say thank you to the community for reaching out whenever you see or hear or think of something that we might not see, think, or hear of. It's really helpful. I mean, we are a community of people who care, so I just want to say thank you. With that, we're going to keep this moving along. So the next regular board meeting will be September 22nd, 2025. And with that, I will turn it over to Dr. Michelle Weber.
Thank you. This evening, I just have one item. It is the volleyball overnight that I sent you last week.
Yep.
So they had a volleyball tournament that they attended in Hoffman Estates. They left Friday but returned Saturday. So that's my only item for this evening.
Thank you so much. Joshua.
All right, I'll try to keep my 11 quick. My first item is a recommendation to approve resolution declaring surplus property at McChesney Elementary, Parker Center, Wilson Park, the Administration Center, and the middle school. Any questions on it? The next item is a recommendation to approve a facility request. There are two. The first one is Parker Center staff for a trunk or treat in October. And the second one is a volleyball event at the high school in March.
Is there a reason that they have to be approved when they are school students?
No, I mean, typically any rental that goes in on a Sunday comes to the board. That's just kind of in the practice, but it could go without it. But it's just the board policy says Sunday rentals.
So we can have something for policy next month.
Mm-hmm. If you want to change it. But it gives you a tracking of who's using what facilities at what time.
All right. Next is a recommendation to approve an agreement with Permar Security to update the monitoring system here at the Harlem Administration Center for a cost of $3,540. All right. We'll keep it rolling along. Next is a recommendation to approve an independent contractor agreement with Bright Beginnings Bilingual Therapy, LLC, provide speech and language evaluations for 2025-2026 school year at $1,000 per evaluation for pre-K through second grade students and $1,400 per evaluation for third grade through 12th grade students. $80 per hour for screening miscellaneous services paid with IDEA flow through Part B and IDEA pre-K grant.
You guys remember, this is the individual who's going to be in town and not coming from the suburbs of Chicago.
Okay. Next is a recommendation to approve a partnership with ROE 17 for the middle school and high school science departments for continued implementation of Open SciEd at a cost of $6,400 paid by Title II funds. Questions on that? Okay. 11B6 is a recommendation to approve an agreement with the Illinois MTSS Network to provide professional development to Harlem Middle School Improvement Team at a cost of $16,116 funded by the School Improvement Grant. Next is a recommendation to approve a partnership with Upchieve to provide tutoring services for the 25-26 school year to low-income students for a cost of $10,000 funded by the School Improvement Grant. All right. Mike's favorite, the PTAB resolution.
Always.
So next is a recommendation to approve a resolution authorizing Attorney Amy Silvestri to intervene in property tax appeal number 2024-02971 for property index number 08-21-128-001 for the year 2024. This is the first mid-bank enforced. Any questions on that?
Just hope to hear some updates, positives.
Yep. Next is a recommendation to approve an agreement with Gordon Flesh Company to provide 6 copiers at Loves Park, McChesney, Maple, Marquette, Olson, and high school athletics for a total cost of $96,585. Okay. Next is a recommendation to approve an agreement with Clear for add-on license plate recognition software for an additional monthly cost of $279.47 per month.
I don't know if anybody else thinks so, but it seems to me that this is kind of, I feel like it's a little sinister to be following around, chasing students, families out of the district. We seem to have students that come in from other districts and students that I know some of our students go out to other districts. And it just seems like we're taking time, and we said that, what would that be, about $1,500 a month to cover the additional?
$279
Yeah,
a
but
month.
didn't we have Clear or something else that we said was gonna be like $1,500? Because I was just thinking for, $1,500 may not be a big deal, but when, we didn't approve, what was it, 37 jobs last month or something, that $1,500 could have been spent on a para or, it just seems like it's money that doesn't need to be spent.
Sure. So,
I was gonna ask Jason, what's an additional student's financial cost in our district?
15 grand.
So we're spending $1,500 to potentially save $15,000. I think that's a good.
What's the pain about being disqualified for a football game
Right.
if there's found for someone trying to be in our district?
I think
I
it's
came with
minimal.
these same questions.
I think it's minimal.
Not just that, but at this time, 1,500, this is, so yes, I feel you on a lot of this stuff. 1,500 for, that's including the 279. So we already spent the first part. I think, you said 44 to 63 open investigations?
44 students that we have concerns about right now currently.
So this helps with some of those man hours and hours that get spent on the hourly on each one of those.
And yet, aren't we losing students to some other districts as well? And wouldn't it be kind of a wash to have some of ours going? I know we have a family in the subdivision where I live that they put out purple and yellow signs that are like, hey, we're gonna go to
But you
Honolulu.
gotta, yeah, I understand, but you're gonna say that, so there's students in here taking resources from Harlem students.
Right. But there's also students who are giving them away to students when they're going to other districts. Plus, if we have more students, you know, if we're getting students, wouldn't we be excited to have students from basically anywhere? Because we're getting federal funding for the number? I mean, we
No.
don't.
It's
I'm confused.
not.
It's a taxpayer.
Yeah, they're not paying tax to the district.
I mean, to me, it's a little bit more of just the ethics of like, this is, you know.
Well, I know
people
it's
that are
wrong.
Falsifying, absolutely, so the
right.
person that's got the hunting flag or
Right.
whatever is falsifying information, which, you know,
Sure.
clearly states like in our policy that students have to be residents of the district,
Right.
do not accept out-of-district tuition payments and that type of stuff, and so it is, and I will admit, like, I struggle with like, what is that balance, especially as we've taken on more of this now, like, I'm trying to find that balance personally, and like, how much time and energy is spent in this, but we've found that people, you know, if we don't enforce it, they will take advantage of it, and we have people that are, as I mentioned in the meeting, like, that are either falsifying addresses, they're, you know, falsifying their guardianship of their kid, they're, you know, they're finding ways to, which, again, it's a great, I love the fact that people are trying to get in here, but they need to do that the right way, and I think, like, this is really the only way for us to really enforce it. Like, we can use an investigator, and that costs money as well, and we'll still probably need to use that a little bit, but to me, it's like, it's either we have to say, we're going to enforce this and follow through with saying that if you have to be a resident to attend here, or, to be honest, it will become kind of like a free-for-all, and it will just be, whoever shows up, whatever, because you can get your driver's license changed pretty easily, and have an address change, or provide, you know, in lieu of lease, or an affidavit that says you're living with such and such person, and, you know, and I do think about, obviously, athletics and some of those things, but I really think it's, to me, about ensuring that our kids are attending our schools,
Right.
you know, and we don't want people falsifying. I mean, I know Rockford their legal department is investigating these things, so they're going after them. We're working on some jointly, and as I mentioned, you know, I know that Kinnikinnick or Roscoe just approved Clear last year, one of them did up there, and the other one, Hanamiga, and I just had called up, they're looking at this as well, because it is a concern that people that are in our taxing districts are trying to attend our schools. So I get absolutely what you're saying, but I feel like it is, you know.
I think one of the concerns for me is that, you know, if we're following somebody's license plate, you know, you realize that they're going to some house that supposedly they don't belong in. You know, for all we know, it's a grandmother that lives out of town that's picking up students and taking them back and forth, and mom and dad really do live in the district, and so it just kind of seems like we're following the wrong people sometimes, and are we following the wrong people?
Well,
Or?
and that's where like Clear came in, and it's really taken us kind of down this path of like, we have this now new intel. Before it was really just word of mouth, like somebody would say, hey, we know so-and-so is going home to
Facebook.
whatever.
Right.
And so we would try to go off of that, but we need, in order for us to actually remove them from the district, like, we need solid evidence to be able to do that, and we have a lot of evidence. And so, as we use Clear to investigate, and we pull those records and stuff like that, that starts to build our case. And so these people that we're gonna actually get an investigator for, or actually use the license plate stuff on, is people that we have a pretty strong suspicion. We have multiple pieces of evidence already that tell us we need to really look at this. But it can't be, like, you know, that's the challenge of it, is that they could be going to grandparents twice a week. But really, if the parents live out of district, they're only doing that twice a week, so we've got to prove that at different points in time, that they are actually going to their home out of district. And so it is a lot of that compiling evidence that we need to be able to make our case if we're going to proceed with either removing somebody or charging tuition.
Do we still charge tuition, or do we just kind of say, hey, we don't have the space, or, because I know we used to do that years ago.
So when the letter goes out, it tells them the tuition amount they owe. It lets them request a hearing. They go to hearing. So if they don't contest it, then yes, they owe the amount on the letter. If they go to hearing and they don't win, then yes, they owe that. And we have sent people collections for that amount in the past.
But can they pay a tuition and stay in the district?
Yes, anybody can pay.
Well, that's kind of what I thought, because we used to do
Tuition,
that, and then they quit doing it for a while.
Yes, $14,000.
Yeah, we haven't allowed that.
Yeah, that's what I thought, that canceled.
Well, whereas like.
You can. We can.
We could, yes, but as a district, we would not allow
Policy says we
that.
can.
Tuition.
But we
So it's allowed, we just don't. Okay. That's all, sorry, Josh.
You're good.
On to you.
Any other questions? Good. All right. The final item is a recommendation to approve an agreement with Challenger Learning Center to provide 6 mission expeditions to Mars from Chesney Elementary for $4,600, which seems like a pretty good going rate for a trip to Mars. So,
Does that include the return trip, though?
it didn't say that.
So they're going.
If there are no other questions, that is my report this evening.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Sterling. This evening, I have the recommendation to approve the personnel agenda. There is no addendum this evening.
Okay.
We have 18 employments, 16 transfers, and 10 resignations that include 1 revision of a previously approved resignation.
Okay.
She's taking retirement now, not just a voluntary resignation, she's retiring, so we're just switching that up for her.
Okay.
And that's it for me.
Thank you so much.
So we have a gross of 9.
Yes. Dr. Troy Yarbrough.
Thank you, Board President Sterling.
What's up with this today?
I too want to thank our teachers and our administrators and our students for such a smooth start to the year. Not every school district has such a smooth start to the year, so I'm really proud of all that we do, specifically putting things in place, like Board Member McKinney said, as far as making our students feel belong in our space, and so that's great, so thank you for that. All right, so the first item that I have here came Board Policy 8:80. And so we have here a recommendation to accept a donation from Progressive Components in the amount of $5,000, which is awesome. We already have the check. They donated that to our CTE programming to be spent, in our CTE wing. So that's great.
Cool.
So, yeah, excellent. And now I have some FOIA requests here. So, Freedom of Information Act was submitted on July 30th, 2025 by Meredith Monty, requesting information about the employment of Michael Cross in the Harlem School District during the years 2014 to 2019, with district response dated August 13th, 2025, with inclusive documentation. The next one is dated September 2nd, 2025, submitted by Peter Medlin of Northern Public Radio, requesting information regarding digital copies of any contracts the district currently has for AI-based education services. The district responded to the requester on September 4th, 2025. We have no records for the request. The next one was submitted by CT Mills, requesting copies of records related to district purchases and contracts for core curriculum purchases, instructional technology, and common assessment software. We'll have a response to that soon. And then the final one is September 2nd, 2025, submitted by Owen Wayne of the Rockford Sun, requesting names and honors of all students in our high schools recognized by the College Board as AP scholars. We will be giving a request on that one as well.
Cool.
Who's the Rockford Sun?
The Rockford Sun, yep, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Moving on to the consent agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the personal agenda?
Motion.
Second.
Board Member Carlson?
Yes.
Board Member Johnson?
Aye.
Secretary Meeks? Aye. President Sterling?
Aye.
Vice President Thompson?
Aye.
Board Member McKnight?
Aye.
Board Member McKinney?
Aye.
Can I get a motion to approve student travel requests?
Motion.
Second.
Board Member Johnson?
Aye.
Board Member Meeks? Aye. President Sterling?
Aye.
Vice President Thompson?
Aye.
Board Member McKnight?
Aye.
Board Member McKinney?
Aye.
Board Member Carlson?
Yes.
Can I get a motion to approve facility requests?
Motion.
Second.
Secretary Meeks? Aye. President Sterling?
Aye.
Vice President Thompson?
Aye.
Board Member McKnight?
Aye.
Board Member McKinney?
Aye.
Board Member Carlson?
Yes.
Board Member Johnson?
Aye.
Can I get a motion to approve gifts to the district?
Motion.
Second. President Sterling?
Aye.
Vice President Thompson?
Aye.
Board Member McKnight?
Aye.
Board Member McKinney?
Aye.
Board Member Carlson?
Yes.
Board Member Johnson?
Aye.
Secretary Meeks? Aye.
Can I get a motion to approve the first reading of policy 880 from September 3rd, 2025 policy committee?
Motion.
Vice President Thompson?
Aye.
Board Member McKnight?
Aye.
Board Member McKinney?
Aye.
Board Member Carlson?
Yes.
Board Member Johnson?
Aye.
Secretary Meeks? Aye. President Sterling?
Aye. Can I get a motion to approve resolution declaring surplus property?
Motion.
Board Member McKnight.
Second.
Do we get a second?
No, second.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. You're good. Okay, Board Member
Aye.
McKnight. Board Member McKinney.
Aye.
Board Member Carlson.
Yes.
Board Member Johnson.
Aye.
Secretary Meeks. Aye. President Sterling.
Aye.
Vice President Thompson.
Aye.
Keep reading, these things got water. Can I get a motion to approve an agreement with Permar Security to update the monitoring system at Harlem Administration Center for a cost of $3,540?
Motion.
I'll second.
Board Member McKinney.
Aye.
Quick
Board Member Carlson.
Yes.
Board Member Johnson.
Aye.
Secretary Meeks. Aye. President Sterling.
Aye.
Vice President Thompson.
Aye.
Board Member McKnight.
Aye.
Thank you, that brought up memories of Larry Smith.
Yes, it did.
Can I get a motion to approve the independent contractor agreement with Bright Beginnings Bilingual Therapy LLC to provide speech and language evaluations for 2025-2026 school year at $1,000 per evaluation for the pre-K through second grade students and $1,400 per evaluation for third through 12th grade students, $80 per hour for screening and miscellaneous services, paid with the IDEA flow-through Part B and IDEA pre-K.
Motion.
Board Member McKinney.
Second.
Oops. Board Member McKinney.
Aye.
Board Member Carlson.
Yes.
Board Member Johnson.
Aye.
Secretary Meeks. Aye. President Sterling.
Aye.
Vice President Thompson.
Aye.
Board Member McKnight.
Aye.
Can we get a motion to approve partnership with ROE 17 for the middle school and high school science departments for continued implementation of Open SIAD at the cost of $6,400, funded by the Title II grant?
Motion.
Second.
Board Member Carlson.
Yes.
Board Member Johnson.
Aye.
Secretary Meeks. Aye. President Sterling.
Aye.
Vice President Thompson.
Aye.
Board Member McKnight.
Aye.
Board Member McKinney.
Aye.
Can I get a motion to approve an agreement with Illinois MTSS Network to provide professional development to the Harlem Middle School Improvement Team at a cost of $16,116, funded by the School Improvement Grant?
Motion.
Second.
Board Member Carlson.
Yes.
Board Member Johnson.
Aye.
Secretary Meeks. Aye. President Sterling.
Aye.
Vice President Thompson.
Yes.
Board Member McKnight.
Yes.
Board Member McKinney.
Aye.
Can I get a motion to approve a partnership with Upchieve to provide tutoring services for the 2025-2026 school year to low-income students for a cost of $10,000, funded by the School Improvement Grant?
Motion.
Second.
Board Member Johnson.
Aye.
Secretary Meeks. Aye. President Sterling.
Aye.
Vice President Thompson.
Aye.
Board Member McKnight.
Aye.
Board Member McKinney.
Aye.
Board Member Carlson.
Yes.
Can I get a motion to approve a resolution authorizing Attorney Amy Silvestri to intervene in the property tax appeal number 2024-02971 for property index number 08-21-128-001 for the year 2024?
Motion.
Second.
Secretary Meeks. Aye. President Sterling.
Aye.
Vice President Thompson.
Aye.
Board Member McKnight.
Aye.
Board Member McKinney.
Aye.
Board Member Carlson.
Yes.
Board Member Johnson.
Aye.
Can I get a motion to approve agreement with Gordon Flesh Company to provide 6 copiers, Loves Park Elementary, McChesney Elementary, Maple Elementary, Marquette Elementary, Olson Park Elementary, Harlem High School Athletics for a total cost of $96,585?
Motion.
Second.
President Sterling.
Aye.
Vice President Thompson.
Aye.
Board Member McKnight.
Aye.
Board Member McKinney.
Aye.
Board Member Carlson.
Yes.
Board Member Johnson.
Aye.
Secretary Meeks. Aye.
Can I get a motion to approve agreement with Clear for an add-on license plate recognition software for an additional monthly cost of $279.47 per month?
Motion.
Second.
Vice President Thompson.
Yes.
Board Member McKnight.
Yes.
Board Member McKinney.
Aye.
Board Member Carlson.
No.
Board Member Johnson.
Aye.
Secretary Meeks. Aye. President Sterling.
Aye. Can I get a motion to approve agreement with Challenge Learning Center to provide 6 mission expeditions to Mars for McChesney Elementary at a cost of $4,600?
Motion.
Second.
Board Member McKnight.
Aye.
Board Member McKinney.
Aye.
Board Member Carlson.
Yes.
Board Member Johnson.
Aye.
Secretary Meeks. Aye. President Sterling.
Aye.
Vice President Thompson.
Aye.
At this time, are there any announcements and discussion? Can I get a motion to go into executive session to discuss employment personnel, 5 ILCS 120-2C1?
Motion.
Second.
Board Member McKnight.
Aye.
Board Member McKinney.
Aye.
Board Member Carlson.
Yes.
Board Member Johnson.
Aye.
Secretary Meeks, aye. President Sterling.
Aye.
Vice President Thompson.
Aye.
All right, 5 minutes.
She got 11.